Ridley Scott works 120 hours a week and is obsessed with making long films. You may not know this about Ridley Scott's works. 1. He paid for his first film himself. Scott's first feature film was The Duelists. Before working on the film, he was making commercials. He decided not to wait for Hollywood film offers. He used his own money to commission the screenplay. Money was so tight that Scott had to forego a salary. Actor Albert Finney was paid in bottles of champagne. Scott's sons played small roles in the film. The entire film was shot on location. A horse-drawn carriage was painted 2 different colors. It was red for the rear and black for the front. This made it look like it was 2 different carriages. 2. He was inspired by Star Wars to make Alien. Scott was invited to a screening of Star Wars: A New Hope. After he saw it, he canceled the film he was going to do. Scott decided to make his own sci-fi film instead. The script was inspired by the Swiss artist H.R. Giger. Giger consulted the crew on the designs for the xenomorph. He sent photographic transparencies of his work to Scott. The images were too disturbing for the customs. The film crew had to personally pick them up. 3. He burned down a forest to film Gladiator. Gladiator opens with a huge fight sequence. It involves 5,000 legionnaires and 10,000 barbarians. The team made functional catapults and siege ballistas. A weapon arsenal included 16,000 arrows. A series of pipes were laid underneath the forest floor. They pumped propane to create the flame effect. The conflict was set in northeastern Europe, but the filming took place in Bourne Woods in England. Part of the forest was going to be destroyed, so Scott was allowed to burn it to the ground. 4. He was fired from Blade Runner. Scott only took on the film as a coping mechanism. He was dealing with the loss of his eldest brother. The film is based on Philip K. Dick's novel. The author despised the first screenplay version. Scriptwriter Hampton Fancher refused to rework the script. Blade Runner was behind schedule. The budget rose from $12 million to $20 million. The producer had just 2 weeks to find new financiers. Harrison Ford begged Scott to guide his performance. Scott focused on set dressing and basic plot beats instead. Scott could work 120 hours a week, but the long hours exhausted the cast and crew. The film went almost $8 million over its revised budget. Scott was officially fired as a result, but he continued work on the film. 5. He is obsessed with making long movies. Scott's longest movie to date is Napoleon. It was first released in cinemas on November 22, 2023. The movie lasts 2 hours and 38 minutes. Scott released a re-edit, Napoleon the Director's Cut. It adds 48 minutes of additional scenes. Its runtime is 3 hours 24 minutes.